I've always been pulled toward the wild corners of the world, the places no one has tamed or even touched. Imagine standing in a forest where the trees are so old they've seen empires rise and fall, or on a beach where the sand is marked only by the tiny feet of creatures who live there. These secret spots, the last untouched paradises on Earth, have called to me for years. And now, after months of dreaming and planning, I'm finally stepping into them, ready to share every moment with you. Picture this. You're walking through a field bursting with wildflowers, so bright and colorful it's like someone spilled paint across the ground. The air is fresh, sharp with the smell of pine and dirt. Above, the sky is a deep, perfect blue. No smog, no plane trails, just pure openness. Somewhere nearby, a waterfall roars, its sound bouncing off hidden cliffs. That's what it's like to be where nature still rules, where the world feels wild and alive. My name's Alex, and I'm just a regular person who loves nature more than anything. Ever since I was a kid, I'd flip through books about far-off lands, imagining myself trekking through jungles or climbing mountains no one else had. Most folks stick to famous parks or tourist spots, but I wanted more. The hidden places, the ones so secret they barely show up on maps. I've spent years chasing rumors, studying old charts, and talking to travelers, all to find these gems. Now I'm taking you along to explore 4 of them. A lonely island in the Pacific, an ancient forest in South America, a secret valley in the Himalayas, and an underwater cave in the Caribbean. Our first stop is a tiny island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. So far out it doesn't even have a name most people know. I hitched a ride on a rickety boat with a captain who'd sailed these waters forever. The sea stretched out like a giant blue blanket, and the sun beat down, making the waves sparkle. I leaned over the edge, half expecting to see something wild, and sure enough, a dolphin leaped out, flipping in the air like it was showing off. Hours passed, and then there it was, the island, a green bump rising from the water. My heart raced. This was it! We pulled up close, and I jumped into the shallow waves, wading to shore. The sand was soft and white, glowing under the sun, and the water was so clear I could see fish darting around coral like little rainbows. No trash, no footprints, just pure, untouched beauty. I grabbed my backpack and camera, itching to see more, and headed into the jungle that swallowed the island's heart. The air turned thick and warm, filled with the smell of wet leaves and flowers. Birds chirped like crazy, and somewhere a monkey screeched. Sunlight peeked through the treetops, lighting up vines and moss in patches. I pushed deeper, brushing past plants with leaves bigger than my head. Then I saw it. A bird with feathers shining blue and green, its tail trailing like a ribbon. It perched on a branch, staring at me, and I fumbled for my camera, snapping a shaky picture. Was this something new, something science hadn't named? I kept going, following a trickle of water until it led me to a clearing. A stream bubbled over rocks, and I scooped up a handful. It was cold and tasted like nothing I'd ever had before. As I drank, something rustled nearby. A little creature popped out, furry with huge eyes, watching me before it scampered off. My jaw dropped. Could this place really be that untouched? The jungle wasn't easy. I tripped over roots, ducked under branches, and once had to wade across a shallow river, the water tugging at my legs. On the other side, I found a waterfall crashing down a cliff, mist rising where it hit the rocks. A rainbow shimmered in the spray, and I just stood there, soaked and grinning. As night fell, I hiked back to the beach, built a fire, and sat listening to the waves. That island felt alive, wild in a way I'd never known. It hit me how rare places like this are, how they need us to keep them safe. Next, I flew to South America, chasing rumors of an ancient forest where time forgot to move. I landed in a dusty village at the edge of the trees and met Maria, a woman from a tribe that's lived there forever. She agreed to guide me, her eyes sharp and knowing. We stepped into the forest, and it was like walking into another world. Trees shot up so tall I couldn't see their tops, their trunks thick with moss. The air buzzed with insects, and the ground crunched under my boots, covered in leaves and twigs. Maria pointed out plants her people use, one's for healing, one's for eating, and I tried a fruit she handed me, sweet and juicy. We walked for hours, dodging vines and listening to monkeys chattering overhead. Then a shadow moved, a jaguar, sleek and quiet, slipping through the trees. My heart pounded, but Maria just smiled, calm as ever. She told me stories by a fire that night, about how her ancestors learned to live with the forest, not against it. I saw parrots with feathers like fireworks and a flower so red it looked painted. Getting lost once freaked me out, but Maria knew the way, guiding us back with a laugh. That forest wasn't just trees, it was a living, breathing home, and I left feeling like we've got to protect it, and the people who know it best. Then came the Himalayas, a whole different beast. I flew to a small town, hired a Sherpa named Tenzin, and started a trek that tested every muscle I had. The air got thin, the wind bit at my face, and snow crunched under my boots as we climbed higher. Tenzin told me about the mountains like they were old friends. Days later we reached a hidden valley tucked between peaks like a secret kept safe. It was stunning. Green patches between snow, a stream sparkling like glass, and flowers tougher than they looked, growing where nothing should. A yak wandered by, shaggy and unbothered, and I laughed, out of breath but amazed. The climb was rough, my legs ached, and a storm almost stopped us, but that valley was worth it. I sat by the water, the quiet sinking in, and thought about how fragile it all is. One warm year too many, and this could vanish. It stuck with me, how nature fights to hold on up there, and how we've got to fight for it too. Last I headed to the Caribbean for something wilder, an underwater cave no one's fully mapped. I teamed up with a diver named Sam, strapped on gear, and splashed into water so warm it felt like a hug. We sank down, bubbles trailing up, and found the cave's mouth, dark and jagged. Inside, it was unreal. Rock spikes hung from the ceiling, glowing where our lights hit them. Fish darted past, pale and weird, built for a life without sun. The silence was heavy, broken only by my breathing through the mask. We squeezed through tight spots, my tank scraping stone, and I felt a thrill mixed with nerves. Then we found it, a chamber with crystals sparkling like stars. Sam's eyes widened behind his mask, and I knew we'd hit something special. Back on the boat, I couldn't stop talking about it, how there's a whole world down there, hidden and perfect, that we've got to keep safe from trash and ruin. Looking back, this journey changed me. That island showed me nature's wild heart. The forest taught me about balance. The valley proved strength and quiet, and the cave opened up secrets we barely understand. These places aren't just pretty, they're alive and they need us. I'm sharing this so you'll feel it too, so you'll care enough to help protect them. There's more out there waiting, and I'm not done exploring. Will you come along next time?